10 Stoic rules for life. Listen to this, they will prioritize you. Modern Stoicism. Have you ever felt like no matter how much you give, people still don't prioritize you? You invest your time, your energy, and your heart, yet they seem indifferent. The harder you try to gain their attention, the more distant they become. This cycle is exhausting, frustrating, and damaging to your self-worth. But what if you could shift the dynamic? What if, instead of chasing validation, you became someone others couldn't afford to ignore? The answer lies in modern Stoicism, timeless principles of self-mastery, emotional control, and quiet confidence. Welcome to Stoic Secrets, where today we'll uncover 10 essential Stoic rules for life that will transform how others see and treat you. These rules will help you command respect, set stronger boundaries, and build unshakable self-worth. If you apply them, you won't just understand Stoicism, you'll embody it. Let's begin. 10 Stoic lessons for always prioritizing you. Number 1. Keep some mystery. Mystery is a powerful tool that fuels curiosity and keeps people engaged. In a world where oversharing is the norm, holding back can make you stand out. When you reveal too much too soon, your thoughts, struggles, emotions, you remove the intrigue that naturally draws people in. Humans are wired for discovery, and if everything is laid out at once, the excitement of getting to know someone fades. Think of yourself as a book, revealing just enough on each page to keep others wanting more. If your entire story is told in a single chapter, interest is lost. This isn't about deception, but about depth, allowing others to earn access to the deeper parts of your life. As Seneca said, a wise man is never less alone than when he is alone, reminding us that our inner world should be a sanctuary, not something given freely to everyone. Being mysterious doesn't mean being distant. It means being intentional about what you share and when. Oversharing, especially early in relationships, weakens curiosity and makes people take you for granted. When access to your world is easy, it's less valued. But when you create a sense of exclusivity, letting people earn their way into your life gradually, they become more invested. This applies not just to relationships, but to how you carry yourself in general. Those who don't constantly explain their actions, who move with quiet confidence, naturally command more respect. Epictetus taught, "Seek to be whole, not to be known." Your value doesn't come from external validation, but from self-assurance, knowing you don't need to broadcast everything to be respected. A key aspect of mystery is emotional composure. In a world of outbursts and constant validation seeking, those who remain calm in chaos become more intriguing. When you reveal too much emotion, you allow others to predict or even manipulate your reactions. Restraint isn't repression, it's control. Not explaining every decision or justifying every action projects quiet strength. History's most powerful figures mastered this art. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." By keeping certain thoughts private, you retain power over how others perceive you. Social media makes oversharing easy, but a life fully on display loses its allure. When every moment, success, and struggle is broadcasted, mystery disappears. The most intriguing people leave something to the imagination, sharing only what's necessary and keeping certain milestones sacred. Not everyone needs to know your every move. Cleopatra, one of history's most fascinating figures, understood this. She revealed just enough to captivate powerful men like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, maintaining a balance of allure and intellect. Her mystery wasn't about withholding, it was about controlling what she shared and when. Applying this principle of modern Stoicism will earn you more respect and admiration. People are drawn to depth, sensing there's more beneath the surface. By being unpredictable and sharing intentionally rather than impulsively, every interaction becomes more meaningful. Mystery isn't about playing games. It's about self-respect and understanding that not everyone deserves full access to you. When you control what you reveal, you take back your power, ensuring that those who truly wish to know you will make the effort to do so. Number 2. Make them fear losing you. There's a simple truth about human nature. People value what they fear losing. The more available you are, the easier it is for others to take you for granted. If they know they can have you anytime, they assume you'll always be there, and appreciation fades. It's not malice, it's just how people are. We don't often think about the air we breathe until we struggle for it. The same applies to relationships, friendships, and careers. When people realize they might lose you, everything shifts. They pay attention, they treat you differently, and they start to prioritize you. This isn't about manipulation, it's about self-respect. It's about positioning yourself as someone whose presence is a privilege, not an option. The key: build a fulfilling life where no single person or situation defines your worth. When your happiness doesn't rely on others, they will instinctively fear losing their place in your world. Independence is magnetic. Confidence is attractive. People are drawn to strength, not neediness. No one respects someone who constantly seeks approval, but everyone notices the person who moves through life with quiet confidence. You don't need to beg for attention. Your presence alone should be enough. If someone disrespects you, don't argue, step back. If they don't prioritize you, don't chase, withdraw. Your time and energy are valuable, and when you take them away, people are forced to realize what life feels like without you. And if they don't care, that's your answer. The wrong ones will fade, and the right ones will step up. One of the greatest Stoic secrets is this: your value isn't measured by how much you give to others, but by how much you respect yourself. Look at the most respected people, whether in business, relationships, or leadership. They don't depend on external validation. They carry themselves with confidence, set firm boundaries, and never compromise their worth. Consider Steve Wozniak in Apple's early days. He wasn't the face of the company, but his technical genius made him indispensable. Steve Jobs understood that without Wozniak, Apple's success would be in jeopardy. That fear of losing him gave Wozniak power. It ensured he was respected and valued. The same principle applies to your life. Ask yourself, are you making yourself indispensable, or are you making yourself too available? The difference determines how others treat you. If you chase validation, you give away your power. But when you walk through life already knowing your worth, people naturally respect and prioritize you. Your absence should be felt. You should never have to beg for attention. Instead, become someone whose presence is valued. This is one of the Stoic secrets to self-worth, knowing that your value isn't based on others' recognition, but on your own self-respect. So, what are you doing today to make yourself irreplaceable? What boundaries do you need to set? What habits must you break to stop chasing and start attracting? If you start prioritizing yourself, something incredible will happen. Others will too. Let me ask you, are you ready to take control of your life and claim the respect you deserve? If so, act now. Like this video and comment below. I choose to be valued. Because true power doesn't come from chasing approval, it comes from knowing your worth. Number 3, create your own happiness. Happiness is not something you find, nor is it something that others can give you. It is something you create, something that emerges from within you when you master your mind and take control of your emotions. The moment you rely on others for your happiness, you hand them the power over your inner world, making yourself vulnerable to their actions, their approval, and their moods. That is no way to live. The essence of modern Stoicism teaches us that true joy is not dictated by external circumstances, but by the way we choose to interpret and respond to life's inevitable ups and downs. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, said Marcus Aurelius. If your happiness depends on people, wealth, or recognition, you are setting yourself up for suffering because these things are fleeting and outside your control. But when you cultivate happiness from within, it becomes unshakable, an internal fortress that no one can tear down. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate a sense of inner peace and self-contentment. Think about it. Who do you prefer to be around? Someone who is confident and self-assured, or someone who constantly seeks reassurance and validation? When you walk through life with a deep sense of fulfillment that is independent of external circumstances, you become magnetic. Others will be inspired by your emotional stability, your ability to remain grounded despite the chaos of the world. On the contrary, if you constantly chase happiness from relationships, material success, or the opinions of others, you will find yourself in a never-ending cycle of disappointment. What happens when the validation stops? What happens when you lose what you thought made you happy? This is why modern Stoicism emphasizes self-reliance. Happiness that depends on nothing outside of you is happiness that lasts. History has shown us time and time again that those who master this principle become truly unbreakable. Look at Theodore Roosevelt, a man who faced unimaginable loss when both his wife and mother died on the same day. He could have let grief consume him, falling into despair, but he chose a different path. Instead of drowning in sorrow, he sought meaning in challenge, adventure, and personal growth, ultimately becoming one of the most resilient and respected leaders in history. His ability to generate his own fulfillment, regardless of tragedy, made him admired by all who knew him. And now, ask yourself, what if you did the same? What if, instead of looking outward for happiness, you turned inward and cultivated a mindset so strong, so deeply rooted in self-mastery, that no misfortune could shake it? Happiness is not an accident, nor is it a reward, it is a discipline. It is the result of training your mind to find fulfillment in self-improvement, in the pursuit of wisdom, in the simple joy of being alive and growing each day. If you make it your mission to create happiness for yourself, you become unshakable. You gain control over your emotions, your relationships, and the way you experience life. You step into a version of yourself that is strong, centered, and deeply at peace. Someone who does not need external approval to feel worthy. This is what makes you powerful. So tell me, will you continue to let the world dictate your happiness, or will you take back control? Number 4. Be valuable and let others invest in you. The key to ensuring that others prioritize you isn't in demanding their attention. It's in becoming someone so valuable that they willingly invest in you. Human nature dictates that we cherish what requires effort, whether in relationships, friendships, or professional settings. If you give too much without setting boundaries, you risk being taken for granted. But when people must put in time, energy, or resources to engage with you, they naturally develop a deeper attachment. This is why, in every aspect of life, value isn't just something you receive, it's something you cultivate. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." If you spend your life giving endlessly without developing yourself, you may find that people take, but they do not truly value what you offer. To be valuable, you must first invest in yourself. Strengthen your mind, sharpen your skills, and cultivate qualities that distinguish you from the ordinary. When people see that you are disciplined, knowledgeable, and driven, they will naturally seek you out. The world respects those who respect themselves enough to pursue excellence. It's not about arrogance, it's about self-worth. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-king, understood this deeply when he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of trying to prove your worth, embody it through action. When others interact with you, let them walk away feeling enlightened, motivated, or even challenged. That is how you become unforgettable. Moreover, allowing people to invest in you deepens their emotional connection. This isn't about manipulation, it's about participation. When someone contributes to your growth, whether through mentorship, support, or collaboration, they see a piece of themselves in your journey. This psychological attachment makes them more likely to prioritize you. It's the same reason why people cherish things they've built with their own hands. Epictetus reminds us, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When people invest in you, it's not about material gain. It's about the sense of purpose they derive from being part of something greater. A striking historical example of this principle is the relationship between Alexander the Great and his mentor, Aristotle. Aristotle didn't simply hand Alexander wisdom, he made him work for it. Every lesson was a challenge, every discussion an intellectual battle. This effort made Aristotle's teachings more profound, shaping Alexander's vision of leadership and conquest. Had the knowledge come easily, it might not have carried the same weight. Similarly, in modern life, consider how we value exclusive mentorship, personalized coaching, or hard-earned skills. Because we had to strive for them, they become invaluable. By positioning yourself as someone worth knowing, you alter the way others perceive and treat you. You are no longer chasing their approval. Instead, they are drawn to you because your presence enriches their lives. It's not about arrogance or self-importance. It's about making sure that what you offer is recognized as meaningful. The secret lies in the balance. Give, but don't overextend. Be accessible, but not at the cost of your self-respect. If you make yourself too easy to reach, people won't value the connection. But when they must work for your time and presence, they cherish it more. The great Stoic secrets of life revolve around self-mastery and understanding human nature. If you want to be prioritized, you must first embody value. Develop yourself so that your presence alone commands respect. Allow people to invest in you, not by seeking validation, but by fostering genuine connections. The world prioritizes those who have something rare to offer, so become that rare individual. Stop chasing attention and start cultivating excellence. Your value will speak for itself, and when it does, you'll find that people will willingly prioritize you, not out of obligation, but out of genuine admiration. Number 5. Never make someone the center of your life. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in any relationship is making another person the center of your world. When you prioritize someone above your own goals, passions, and self-development, you become overly dependent, and that often leads to a loss of respect. People are naturally drawn to those who have a strong sense of identity and purpose, individuals who are whole within themselves, rather than those who rely on someone else to complete them. If you make another person your sole focus, they may begin to feel suffocated, or worse, lose interest entirely. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, a man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. If you abandon your own aspirations in pursuit of another, you risk not only losing them, but losing yourself in the process. To avoid this, you must cultivate a rich and fulfilling life beyond your relationships. This means dedicating yourself to personal growth, maintaining meaningful friendships, and pursuing activities that genuinely bring you joy. When you are engaged in your own journey, you naturally become more attractive, not because you are playing games, but because independence is inherently appealing. A person who does not need external validation to feel whole exudes confidence and self-sufficiency, qualities that make others want to be around them. When you have direction and purpose, people become curious. They wonder what drives you, what occupies your mind, and what makes you so deeply engaged with life. The moment you stop needing someone to give your life meaning, you become someone worth knowing. Furthermore, when you do not make another person the center of your life, you introduce a sense of challenge and mystery. Instead of always being available, you have priorities that demand your attention, making your presence more valuable. Think of the people you admire most. Are they those who drop everything at a moment's notice, or are they those whose time must be earned? The latter is almost always the case. The more purpose-driven you are, the more others will respect and appreciate the time you do give them. As Epictetus taught, attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what others think or do. Hold to your true aspirations, no matter what is going on around you. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, standing firm in your values and ambitions, not allowing relationships to define your self-worth. History provides powerful examples of this principle in action. Take Isaac Newton, whose contributions to science changed the world. Despite forming relationships throughout his life, he never allowed them to consume his purpose. His unwavering focus on his work, his thirst for knowledge, and his relentless pursuit of discovery made him one of the most respected minds in history. Newton's independence was not selfish. It was the very thing that made him extraordinary. He did not chase approval or prioritize others at the expense of his calling, and in doing so, he earned admiration that lasted far beyond his lifetime. By refusing to make someone the center of your universe, you protect your own self-respect while simultaneously increasing the value others place on you. People gravitate toward those who are focused, driven, and dedicated to something greater than themselves. When they see that you are not waiting for someone else to complete you, that you are already whole, they are naturally drawn to you. If you embody the principles of modern Stoicism and prioritize your own growth, you will not only command respect, but also create a life where people seek to be part of your journey, not the reason for your existence. Number 6. Put your needs first. If you don't prioritize your own needs, no one else will. It's a hard truth, but one that many people ignore in the hope that constantly putting others first will earn them love, respect, and appreciation. But here's the reality. When you neglect yourself, you send a silent message that your well-being isn't important, and others will believe it too. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you don't value your own happiness, health, and ambitions, why should anyone else? To command respect, you must first respect yourself. And that starts with setting firm boundaries and making it clear that your needs matter. This isn't selfish, it's necessary. Knowing when to say no, when to walk away from toxic situations, and when to demand better treatment isn't just about self-care. It's about self-preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you constantly deplete yourself for others, you'll find yourself exhausted, unappreciated, and resentful. But when you prioritize yourself, something incredible happens. People begin to treat you with the same level of respect and importance that you show yourself. Think about it. When you meet someone who carries themselves with quiet confidence, who doesn't settle for less than they deserve, you naturally respect them. Their aura commands attention, not because they demand it, but because they embody self-worth. You can have that too. It starts with emotional independence, with the understanding that no one else is responsible for your fulfillment. Many people make the mistake of seeking validation from others, hoping that love or recognition will fill the void inside them. But true power comes from within. When you build a life where your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else, you radiate strength. That strength is what draws the right people to you and makes you stand out. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. This is one of the greatest Stoic secrets. When you stop seeking external validation and instead prioritize your own well-being, you gain an inner peace that can't be shaken by the actions or opinions of others. History gives us a perfect example of this in Cincinnatus, the Roman leader who could have held on to power but chose not to. Called upon to serve as dictator in a time of crisis, he led Rome to victory. Yet, instead of clinging to power, he walked away, returning to his simple life as a farmer. Why? Because he knew his own priorities. He refused to let ambition or external expectations dictate his choices. That act of self-respect made him one of the most revered figures in Roman history. His lesson is clear. Power, respect, and admiration come to those who know their worth and refuse to compromise their values for temporary approval. Now, look at your own life. Are you prioritizing your needs, or are you constantly putting yourself last in the hope that others will recognize your sacrifice? The truth is, people respect those who respect themselves. If you don't demand better, you'll never receive it. If you don't set boundaries, people will continue to take from you without hesitation. The moment you stop settling, stop explaining, and stop seeking approval, everything changes. This is one of the essential Stoic secrets. Your self-worth is not determined by how much you do for others, but by how firmly you stand in your own values. So, what changes do you need to make today? What areas of your life require stronger boundaries? If you begin prioritizing yourself, you'll notice something profound. Others will start to prioritize you too. Number 7. Don't always be available. Your time is your most valuable asset, yet so many people give it away freely, expecting nothing in return. But here's the truth. When you are always available, when you drop everything at a moment's notice, people begin to take you for granted. The more accessible you are, the less valuable your presence becomes. Think about it. Why do we place such high value on rare gems, exclusive events, or hard-to-get reservations? It's because scarcity creates worth. Modern Stoicism teaches us to guard our time, to ensure that we are not endlessly at the mercy of other people's demands. Associate only with those who will make a better man of you, said Seneca. If you are always available, if you never say no, you are signaling that your time is not important, that your life's purpose can be put on hold whenever someone else decides they need you. But when you set boundaries, when you make it clear that your time is something to be earned, people respect you more, they value your presence, and they appreciate the moments they get with you. Now, this isn't about playing games or making people chase you. It's about self-respect. If you allow yourself to be constantly pulled in different directions, you will never have the energy or focus to build the life you truly want. Imagine a world where you say yes to everything, where every demand on your time is met instantly. How much of yourself do you think would be left at the end of the day? Your own goals, your own growth, your own peace must come first. And when you make that clear, people notice. You are no longer seen as someone who is just there whenever convenient, but as someone of purpose, someone whose attention must be earned. People respect what they have to work for. When your presence becomes something that requires effort to attain, it holds more weight. History gives us countless examples of individuals who understood this concept and used it to their advantage. Look at Ada Lovelace, one of the first computer programmers. She didn't waste her time with meaningless distractions. She was selective with whom she shared her time and knowledge, and as a result, her contributions were deeply valued by the scientific community. If she had made herself available to everyone at all times, she might never have been taken seriously, her insights lost in the noise of a world that does not naturally appreciate what is given too freely. Ask yourself, are you allowing yourself to be taken for granted? Do people truly appreciate your presence, or do they assume you'll always be there, waiting for them? The solution is simple, but requires discipline. Modern Stoicism teaches us that we must take control of our own time, that we must decide where and how to spend it, rather than allowing others to dictate our priorities. When you begin to value your time, so will others. When you make your presence something that requires effort, it naturally commands more respect. And in doing so, you create deeper, more meaningful relationships, ones built on mutual appreciation rather than expectation. So tell me, will you continue to be available to everyone at all times? Or will you take back control and make your time something truly valuable? You've just taken a powerful step toward reclaiming your time and self-worth. Now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment with the phrase, "My time, my rules," to let us know you're committed to setting boundaries and making your presence truly valuable. Your journey towards self-mastery and respect has begun. Keep going. The world will always demand your attention, but now you decide where it goes. Stay focused. Your transformation is happening. Number 8. Don't always start conversations. If you are always the one initiating conversations, making plans, or reaching out first, you unknowingly create an imbalance in your relationships. When people become accustomed to your constant effort, they may start taking your presence for granted, assuming you will always be there. But when you take a step back and allow others to take the lead, you gain clarity about who genuinely values you and who simply engages with you out of habit or convenience. True relationships, whether in friendships, family, or work, are built on mutual effort, not one-sided pursuit. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Part of learning how to live well is understanding that relationships should not be sustained solely by your energy. If you always push forward, you never truly know who would choose to walk toward you. One of the Stoic secrets to strengthening your presence in any relationship is patience. Many people struggle with silence, fearing that if they do not initiate, the connection will weaken or disappear. But silence is not always a sign of neglect. It can be a test of sincerity. If someone truly values you, they will reach out, they will initiate, they will make an effort. And if they don't, then perhaps their place in your life was never meant to be as significant as you thought. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This applies to relationships as well. If someone does not reciprocate your energy, don't chase, don't beg, and don't lower your standards. Hold yourself with dignity and let relationships flow naturally. If a connection is genuine, silence will not weaken it. If it is not, silence will expose its fragility. Another benefit of not always initiating conversations is that it enhances how others perceive your value. When you are constantly accessible, people assume they can always have your attention. But when you withdraw slightly, when you are not the first to reach out, a shift happens. People begin to wonder about you. They become curious, intrigued, and more appreciative of your presence when it does come. This principle is seen in leadership, in business, in friendships, and even in dating. A person who does not seek attention, but rather commands it through their actions, earns far more respect than someone who desperately chases it. This is why historical figures like George Washington, known for his disciplined and composed demeanor, did not overextend himself in conversations or social interactions. He chose his words carefully and allowed others to approach him rather than constantly seeking validation. This aura of self-respect only heightened his influence and authority. Adopting this mindset ensures that your relationships are based on genuine interest rather than obligation. It eliminates the need for you to prove your worth to people who do not truly prioritize you. The reality is, those who want you in their life will make it known, not through words alone, but through consistent effort. And those who fade away when you stop initiating, let them go. Your value does not decrease because someone fails to recognize it. In the end, the people who matter will always find a way to stay connected, regardless of who initiates the conversation. This is one of the essential Stoic secrets to living a life of dignity, presence, and self-respect. Never chase what should naturally flow toward you. Number 9. Don't get too emotionally attached. Emotional attachment, when balanced, adds meaning to life, but when it takes control, it breeds insecurity, anxiety, and a loss of self-respect. Relying too much on another person for happiness weakens your independence and leads to fear-based decisions. Modern Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from within, and emotional control is essential for stability. The moment you let emotions dictate your actions, you surrender your power to others, making yourself vulnerable to disappointment and manipulation. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your approach to emotional attachment determines whether it empowers or weakens you. A crucial lesson in life is understanding that nothing is permanent. People change, circumstances shift, and relationships evolve. Clinging too tightly creates suffering, while embracing change brings freedom. Over-attachment comes from the illusion of control, the false belief that holding on tightly can prevent change. But resisting the inevitable only causes pain. Detachment is not indifference. It's the ability to love without making someone your sole source of happiness. When you appreciate relationships for what they are instead of fearing what they may become, you experience them with gratitude rather than desperation. To avoid unhealthy attachment, cultivate self-sufficiency. A person with purpose, passions, and confidence doesn't need another to complete them. When you shift from seeking validation to creating a fulfilling life on your own, you become more attractive and emotionally strong. People naturally respect those who radiate independence. The healthiest relationships exist between two whole individuals, not those trying to fill emotional voids. Mindfulness and self-reflection help prevent excessive attachment. When you feel too emotionally invested, pause and ask, is this connection rooted in love, or is it driven by fear and insecurity? By stepping back, you make wiser choices and avoid unnecessary pain. Seneca advised, "The best way to deal with anger is to wait," and this wisdom applies to all emotions. Observing your feelings without being controlled by them allows you to respond with clarity instead of impulsivity. Emotional resilience is not about suppressing feelings, but understanding them and maintaining control. Marcus Aurelius exemplified emotional detachment. Despite personal losses and betrayals, he remained composed, leading with wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. His ability to separate personal pain from his duty made him one of history's most respected leaders. His life proves the strength of mastering emotions rather than being enslaved by them. By practicing emotional detachment, you free yourself from unnecessary pain and approach relationships with clarity. You appreciate people without fearing their absence, strengthening both self-respect and the respect others have for you. When you control emotional attachments, you move through life with confidence, resilience, and inner peace. This is modern Stoicism in action, loving without clinging, caring without dependency, and walking your own path with unwavering strength, no matter who walks beside you. Number 10. Be willing to walk away. One of the most powerful decisions you can make in life is the willingness to walk away when you are not valued. Too many people stay in toxic, one-sided or unfulfilling relationships out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of not finding something better, or fear of confronting the truth about their situation. But true self-respect begins the moment you recognize your worth and refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. The world does not reward those who beg for respect. It rewards those who demand it through their actions. When you communicate your standards not with words, but with decisive action, when you show that you will not tolerate disrespect, neglect, or dishonesty, you establish an unshakable sense of value. People quickly learn they cannot take advantage of you because you are not afraid to remove yourself from situations that no longer serve you. Walking away is not about proving a point. It is about protecting your energy, your peace, and your self-worth. It forces others to reflect on their behavior, and in many cases, they realize just how much they took you for granted. The willingness to walk away is a silent but powerful declaration. I respect myself too much to accept anything less than what I deserve. The key to mastering this principle is self-sufficiency. When your happiness, success, and well-being do not depend on any single person, you are free. The less dependent you are on others for your sense of fulfillment, the stronger you become. Independence is power. Confidence is magnetic. When you live a life that is rich and fulfilling on its own, you naturally attract respect and admiration. You cannot change how people treat you, but you can control how you respond. Choosing to walk away from what does not align with your values is an act of self-mastery. It is an act of courage. It is one of the Stoic secrets to true personal power. History gives us a perfect example of this in Cincinnatus, the Roman general who was given ultimate political power. Instead of clinging to it, he chose to step away and return to his simple farm life. He did not let external validation or societal expectations dictate his choices. He valued his integrity and personal peace over status, and because of that, he became one of the most respected figures in Roman history. His actions prove that power is not about holding on, it is about knowing when to let go. The same applies to your own life. Are you holding on to relationships, friendships, or jobs that no longer align with who you are? Are you afraid to leave something behind because of uncertainty, even though you know deep down it no longer serves you? The real question is, what do you fear more, letting go or staying in a situation where you are not truly valued? By embracing the power of walking away, you send a clear message to the world. Your presence is a privilege, not a given. You do not chase respect, you command it. And in doing so, you elevate not only your relationships, but also your entire self-perception. This is one of the most important Stoic secrets to living a life of strength, confidence, and dignity. When you stop fearing the unknown and start trusting yourself, you will realize that walking away is not an ending. It is a beginning. It is the doorway to better opportunities, healthier connections, and a life that truly reflects your worth. So, ask yourself, what in your life needs to be left behind? What situations have you been tolerating for too long? When you finally choose yourself, the world will follow your lead. By applying these 10 Stoic principles, you establish yourself as someone who commands respect and priority in the lives of others. These lessons aren't about manipulation, but about maintaining your dignity, self-worth, and emotional balance. When you prioritize yourself, Others naturally follow suit. True power lies in self-mastery. When you value yourself first, the world will recognize your worth. B. The Stoic mindset. To reinforce your value. To truly reinforce your value and solidify your presence in any situation, you must develop a Stoic mindset. This mindset serves as the foundation for long-term respect, influence, and inner strength. Now, let's explore the deeper Stoic philosophies that will help you maintain control and continue being the priority in any relationship or interaction. Stick around until the end, as we'll reveal a powerful mindset shift that will make you unshakable in any situation. You won't want to miss it. Number 1. Control your emotions. If you cannot control your emotions, then you are not in control of your life. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone ruin an opportunity, damage a relationship, or make a terrible decision simply because they let their emotions take over? Anger, frustration, jealousy, fear, these are all natural, but if you let them dictate your actions, you give away your power. One of the core teachings of modern Stoicism is emotional mastery, the ability to remain calm and composed no matter what life throws at you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, said Marcus Aurelius. This is the foundation of true resilience, the secret to maintaining control over your actions, your words, and ultimately, your destiny. When emotions rule you, you are at the mercy of the world. But when you rule your emotions, you are untouchable. The first step to emotional control is understanding that emotions are fleeting. What upsets you today might not even matter tomorrow. How often have you reacted impulsively only to regret it later? A moment of anger can lead to a lifetime of consequences, and a brief emotional outburst can shatter the very things you've worked hard to build. The wise person steps back before reacting, taking a moment to ask, am I responding with reason, or am I letting my emotions control me? This is where modern Stoicism gives us a practical tool: detachment. When someone disrespects you, ignores you, or tries to provoke you, what happens if you simply refuse to let it affect you? They lose their power. You remain calm while they expose their own lack of control. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but about recognizing them, understanding them, and deciding whether they are worth acting on. Emotional control is not just about personal peace. It's about power and influence. People respect those who can remain composed under pressure. Think of the leaders, warriors, and philosophers who changed history. They were not those who acted on impulse, but those who mastered their emotions and made calculated decisions. Look at Epictetus, born into slavery, facing humiliation and hardship, yet rising to become one of the greatest Stoic teachers. Did he allow his suffering to turn him bitter? He refused to let external circumstances dictate his internal state. He understood that true strength lies not in reacting, but in choosing how to respond. If he, a man with no control over his physical freedom, could master his emotions, then what excuse do we have? Imagine if you mastered this skill. Imagine if no insult, no rejection, no disappointment could shake your peace. How much stronger would you be? How much more respected? When you develop emotional control, you become unbreakable. People admire those who do not let their emotions rule them because it signals strength, wisdom, and self-respect. It's not easy, but that's exactly why it's so powerful. So I ask you, will you continue to let your emotions dictate your actions, or will you take back control and shape your life with reason, discipline, and an unshakable mind? 2. Stop seeking validation. The desire for validation is one of the most deceptive traps of the mind, keeping people in a constant cycle of seeking approval and shaping their actions based on how others perceive them. Many go through life chasing recognition, whether through compliments, social media approval, or the silent nods of acceptance from peers, believing that external validation will bring them a sense of fulfillment. But the truth is, relying on others for validation makes you emotionally dependent, weakens your confidence, and places your self-worth in the unpredictable hands of others. Seneca once said, "If you are content with yourself, you do not need the approval of others." And that is the essence of true strength. Understanding that your value is not determined by how many people applaud you, but by how firmly you stand in your own beliefs, choices, and principles. When you stop craving validation, you gain an extraordinary sense of freedom. You no longer fear rejection, criticism, or the shifting opinions of others because your confidence is no longer fragile. It is rooted in something far deeper, self-acceptance. A person who does not seek validation is someone who operates from a place of quiet strength. They do not need applause to feel accomplished, nor do they let criticism shake them. This independence is powerful because it makes you more attractive in every sense. People are naturally drawn to those who are secure in themselves, who do not beg for attention or approval. The paradox of validation is that the less you seek it, the more it comes to you. People admire those who walk their own path, who live with conviction, who do not bend themselves to fit into the expectations of others. And yet, many struggle with breaking free from the need for approval because they fail to realize one fundamental truth. No amount of external validation will ever be enough if you do not validate yourself first. If you do not believe in your own worth, no number of compliments, achievements, or reassurances will ever fill that void. The first step to breaking free is shifting your focus inward. Instead of chasing approval, become the kind of person you admire. Strengthen your character, refine your skills, and commit to living in alignment with your principles. When you build yourself into someone you respect, you no longer need anyone else's confirmation to feel good about who you are. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic emperors, had every opportunity to surround himself with flattery and indulgence, yet he rejected the need for excessive praise. He remained focused on his duty, prioritizing virtue over public opinion, understanding that true strength lies in doing what is right, not in being recognized for it. His ability to lead without the need for validation made him one of the most respected rulers in history. This is one of the great Stoic secrets. Self-worth must come from within. When you no longer depend on approval, you develop an unshakable foundation of confidence, independence, and inner peace. You stop being controlled by the shifting tides of others' opinions, and instead you move through life with clarity and purpose. And here's the irony: the less you seek validation, the more people respect you. They sense your strength, your self-assurance, and your quiet power. They admire you not because you demand their recognition, but because you don't need it. In the end, the key to prioritization is not found in chasing others' approval, but in cultivating such a strong sense of self that others naturally gravitate toward you. That is the secret to living a life of dignity, presence, and unwavering confidence. When you stop seeking validation, you finally become truly free. Number 3. Surround yourself with high-value people. The people you surround yourself with shape your mindset, influence your decisions, and ultimately determine the trajectory of your life. If you spend time with individuals who lack ambition, dwell in negativity, or drain your energy, you will inevitably find yourself weighed down by their limitations. However, if you build a circle of high-value people, those who challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward excellence, you will naturally elevate your own standards and grow into the best version of yourself. As Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This truth is echoed in modern Stoicism, which emphasizes the importance of choosing your company wisely, knowing that the people around you will either sharpen your mind or dull your spirit. Your environment has a profound effect on your thinking and self-worth. If you want to be respected and prioritized, you must align yourself with those who hold themselves to high standards and encourage you to do the same. The most successful and resilient individuals do not allow just anyone into their inner circle. They are intentional about who they spend their time with, ensuring that every relationship adds value to their life. This does not mean surrounding yourself only with people who agree with you, but rather with those who challenge you to improve and push you beyond your comfort zone. Epictetus wisely advised, "Associate only with those who make you better." The company you keep should be a source of strength, not a distraction from your goals. If you find yourself among those who gossip, complain, or make excuses, it's only a matter of time before their habits seep into your mindset as well. A crucial aspect of self-respect is understanding that you do not owe your time and energy to everyone. Stoicism teaches that time is our most precious resource, and wasting it on those who add no real value to our lives is a disservice to ourselves. If a relationship no longer serves you, if it drains you more than it uplifts you, it is not only acceptable but necessary to step away. The people who truly respect and value you will rise to meet your standards, while those who do not will naturally fade away. This is not about arrogance, it is about self-preservation. The more you respect yourself, the more others will respect you. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." To live fully means to choose your relationships with intention, ensuring that those around you contribute to your growth rather than stifle it. History offers powerful examples of this principle in action, particularly in the life of Cato the Younger. Known for his unwavering integrity and discipline, Cato refused to associate with those who lacked moral character or ambition. He surrounded himself with individuals who shared his commitment to virtue, making no compromises when it came to his values. This dedication to surrounding himself with greatness solidified his reputation as one of Rome's most respected figures. His life demonstrates that when you align yourself with people of strong principles, you reinforce your own values and strengthen your resolve to live with purpose. By carefully curating the people in your life, you ensure that your time is spent with those who uplift and prioritize you. You become a reflection of your environment, and if that environment consists of driven, disciplined, and high-value individuals, you will naturally rise to meet that level. Modern Stoicism teaches that we should be mindful of who we allow into our inner world, because our relationships shape us in ways we do not always realize. The key to self-growth is choosing people who push you forward rather than hold you back. When you surround yourself with greatness, you become great. When you choose wisely, you thrive. Number 4. Speak less, listen more. There's a reason why the wisest people in history spoke less and listened more, because real power lies not in how much you say, but in how much you understand. Many people talk endlessly, trying to prove their intelligence or dominate conversations, yet in doing so, they often reveal too much, weaken their influence, and miss valuable insights. But those who master the art of listening, they gain knowledge, respect, and control. Speaking less allows you to observe more, assess others with precision, and choose your words carefully. When you listen, you catch the details others overlook, giving you an advantage in any situation. People admire those who don't rush to fill every silence with words, and they trust those who make them feel heard. Have you ever noticed how the person who speaks the least in a room often holds the most power? That's no accident. It's a strategy. The more you listen, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you can respond with intelligence rather than impulse. This is one of the Stoic secrets to influence. Restraint in speech is not just self-discipline, it is an advantage. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, put it simply, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." That is not just a reminder to be patient, it is a lesson in power. The ability to remain silent and absorb information is a weapon. George Washington, one of history's greatest leaders, was known for his ability to listen before speaking. He would let others talk, carefully taking in their words, and only then would he respond, with precision, with thought, with strength. His measured speech commanded immense respect, proving that silence is often more powerful than noise. In modern times, think of the most influential leaders, business minds and negotiators. They do not speak to impress. They speak to impact. They listen, analyze, and when they finally speak, their words carry weight. Now look at your own life. Do you listen more than you speak, or do you fill conversations with unnecessary words? Do you truly hear what people are saying, or do you wait for your turn to respond? A man once told me a story about a deal he almost lost because he talked too much. He sat across from a potential business partner, eager to impress, and spent most of the meeting listing his company's strengths, why they should work together, why he was the best choice. When he finally paused, his partner simply said, "I was ready to agree 20 minutes ago, but now I have doubts." He had talked his way into a weaker position. If he had asked more questions, listened more, and spoken less, the deal would have closed without effort. The lesson? Words can open doors, but they can also close them. The most successful people know when to remain silent, when to absorb information, and when to let others reveal more than they intended. This is one of the Stoic secrets to commanding respect, not by proving your worth through endless words, but by holding back, observing, and speaking only when necessary. When you speak less, you gain an aura of mystery. People respect those who do not feel the need to explain themselves constantly. When you listen more, you gather knowledge, positioning yourself as someone who truly understands. And when you do speak, your words carry more weight. This simple shift in approach can transform the way people perceive you. So ask yourself, do you talk just to talk, or do you speak with purpose? Do you truly listen, or are you waiting for your turn to be heard? If you start practicing silence, you will notice something remarkable. People will lean in when you finally speak, because they know your words matter. Number 5. Turn challenges into opportunities. Life will test you. There's no avoiding it. But what if I told you that the very obstacles you face are the keys to your growth, the stepping stones to your greatest successes? Most people see challenges as something unfair, something to complain about, something that holds them back. But modern Stoicism teaches us something different. Every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, wrote Marcus Aurelius. This means that whatever blocks your path is not stopping you, it is guiding you. The difficulties you face are not there to break you, but to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. And if you learn to see challenges this way, nothing can stop you. People will respect you, admire you, and look to you for guidance. Not because your life is easy, but because you refuse to let hardship defeat you. So how do you develop this mindset? It starts with shifting the way you talk to yourself. When faced with adversity, most people ask, Why is this happening to me? But a Stoic asks, what can I learn from this? This small shift in perspective changes everything. A failure is no longer the end, it's feedback. A setback is no longer a defeat, it's preparation for something greater. This is how strong individuals operate. They do not crumble when things get tough. They adapt. They find solutions. They move forward with wisdom instead of reacting with frustration. And when you cultivate this mindset, something incredible happens. People start to notice. They see that you don't panic under pressure, that you don't complain, that you don't let difficulties define you. And because of this, they begin to respect you more. They see you as someone worth prioritizing, someone worth following, someone who can handle whatever life throws at them. History is filled with people who turned their greatest struggles into their greatest triumphs. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, but instead of letting it break him, he used that time to strengthen his mind and his purpose. When he was finally released, he did not emerge bitter or defeated. He emerged as a leader, a symbol of resilience, and he changed the course of history. And he is not alone. Every great leader, every powerful thinker, every individual who has ever commanded respect has done so by facing obstacles head-on and refusing to let them dictate their fate. If they had chosen to give up, we would not remember their names. Their struggles made them who they were, and the same is true for you. The truth is, challenges are not just opportunities for personal growth. They are also a test of your character. People take note of how you respond when things don't go your way. If you complain, panic, or blame others, you diminish your credibility. But if you remain calm, if you handle adversity with confidence and clarity, people will be drawn to you. They will see you as someone who thrives under pressure, someone they can count on, someone they respect. And over time, this will transform your relationships, your career, and your influence in ways you never imagined. This is why embracing challenges is one of the most powerful principles of modern Stoicism, because it puts you in control. No longer are you at the mercy of external events. No longer do difficulties dictate your emotions or your actions. Instead, you take every hardship and turn it into an advantage. You use setbacks to make you stronger, and when you live this way, you become unstoppable. So tell me, will you continue to see challenges as roadblocks, or will you use them as the fuel that drives you forward? The choice is yours. Mastering these 10 Stoic rules will transform how others perceive and prioritize you. When you control your emotions, stop seeking validation, and surround yourself with high-value individuals, you naturally command respect. Modern Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from self-mastery. When you prioritize yourself, others will follow. You don't need to chase attention. It will come naturally as you grow into the best version of yourself. Which Stoic principle resonates with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found value in these Stoic secrets, like, subscribe, and join our Stoic Secrets community. Your journey to self-mastery begins now. Live with intention, embrace these lessons, and watch as respect and admiration come effortlessly.